Welcome to our clip on belt filter presses. Visit our website at worldwideweb.indigowatergroup.com. We install dewatering equipment primarily to reduce solids volume, reduce the cost of downstream processes, and also to reduce the volume to be hauled and disposed of. This slide lists belt filter press components. We'll be looking at movies and images of each. And there's also auxiliary equipment not covered on this slide. This is a belt filter press with an extended gravity zone. I want you to notice a few things. You can see the two individual belts in blue, also the plows on the top of the instrument and the enormous footprint. Basics of operation for a belt filter press. This slide shows an opened up version, and you can see the primary zones. You have the initial, the feed, the gravity zone, which is followed by the wedge zone, compression zone, and ultimately the cake discharge. This is the inlet box. It distributes sludge over the top of the belt. You can see here at the very beginning of the gravity zone we're already starting to get good furrows with a lot of water draining from the sludge. Here's the initial entry point of the sludge, and you can see again that sludge getting drier and drier as we move down the belt. What we're attempting to do here is to build the sludge up in nice even rows. By the time we get to the end of the gravity zone, we're already at probably 3 to 5% solids or even more. Those solids are going to drop off the edge into the wedge zone. Here you see them dropping down above the sandwich between the two belts. The purpose of the wedge zone is basically to consolidate the material and start exerting pressure. Same solids now dropping between those two belts into the wedge zone. You can see the belt compressing more and more. Just going to pack those solids together without actually pushing any of them out of the belt. Now we're entering the pressure zone, and the pressure zone shows a bunch of rollers. Those rollers are going to exert more and more pressure on the solids and squeeze more and more liquid out of those solids as the two belts move over the rollers. Backing up a little, you can see the tremendous amount of water that is draining out of those belts from underneath. Here's the filtering on the back side of the belt, and what you didn't see, because this press prohibited it, is the amount of liquid that's actually coming down from the gravity zone. I'll scan over here and look at the gravity zone pipe. There's just a tremendous amount of water being removed from the sludge, just with the gravity zone. Here we are at the discharge of the outlet of the press. That's probably a 20-25% solid coming off the back of the press. You see the doctor blade, there's two of them scraping the belt, helping remove those solids. Here's another picture of the doctor blade. Again, you can see that there are two of them. Another shot of the discharge of the press. Looking back along the press, you can now see all of the zones, the gravity zone, the rollers, pressure zone, and the discharge zone, where those two belts are coming back apart. Here are the two belts coming apart just before we get to the doctor blade. The primary control parameters for belt filter presses are the solids loading rate. Typical is somewhere between 900 and 1100 pounds of solids per hour per meter of belt width. So for a 6-foot belt press, it's going to be doubled. The performance is completely dependent on the amount of polymer, the feed solids, and whether you're sending primary solids, secondary solids, or a mixture of the two. This concludes our short clip on belt filter presses. Hope you've enjoyed it and that it clarified some things about belt filter press operation.